Hi everyone, it's Missy from the Jolly Fit Elf. Welcome to part 2 in my Stamping for Newbies series. Today we're going to be talking about what you're going to stamp on, which is paper. So if you missed the first video in the series, I'll link it down in the description box below, but also at the end on the end slate. But I'm talking through the different products that you need to get started crafting and stamping. So the first video was of course about stamps because you're going to need stamps to do what you do. And now we're going to talk about the different types of paper. So there are basically kind of two different types of paper. There's cardstock and then there's pattern paper. So some things to note. If you're going to just be layering paper, like if you're just using paper to stamp on, or if you're just using paper and then you're going to add it to a card, or if you're just embossing and you're adding it to a card, a lighter weight paper is not going to be that bad for you. And a lot of the cardstock and stuff like you're going to find at Joann's or you're going to find at Michael's or any other kind of craft store, it's going to be a lighter weight paper. Now I know some of their brands have brought out some heavier paper, but you're really going to want a heavy weight if you're making card bases. So let me show you what Stampin' Up! Has to offer. The first is our Whisper White. Now this cardstock, they now have two different kinds. We have an 80 pound and then we have the thick, which is I believe 100 pounds. And if you've watched any of my videos in the past, I've mentioned how this 80 pound Whisper White isn't thick enough for me to do card bases. And the reason that is because this is a different formulation than say our other exclusive cardstock. This is an 80 pound package of Pink Pirouette and this is thicker and stiffer than the Whisper White is. So let me see. So this, if you guys remember this is the thin Whisper White and it's just thin, easy to bend around, etc. This is the thick Whisper White. And as you can see, it's not so easy to bend. Like if I try to bend in half, etc. There's a different sheen. I don't know if you can tell that. This is definitely more smooth and more shiny. This is definitely, it has a different texture because it's a different weight. So we have, gosh, 50 different colors? 10, 10, 10, that's 30. 40 different colors, I guess. Holy smokes. And with our cardstock and our matching inks and markers, etc. So you really want quality cardstock. Now, I know, like I said, I know it's tempting to run into a craft store and just buy everything off the shelf. But remember, you want something that's heavyweight so you can make card bases, and you want what you're stamping on to be of good quality. So just remember that, because honestly, stamps, ink, paper, those are your most important basics. So you don't have to go with Stampin' Up, of course. It's the cardstock that I choose. Not only because I'm a demonstrator, but I was using Stampin' Up! Cardstock before I even signed up because I love, number one, I love the rainbow of colors that we have. And number two, I love the thickness of it for card bases. And now you guys know if you watched my catalog walkthrough that I was so super excited about the thick white cardstock because in the past I've used a different brand to make card bases because Whisper White just wasn't thick enough for me, and now it's in 100 pound and it's great. So I'm excited about that. So those are cardstock. So cardstock is what you want to make your card bases out of. You're probably going to want to make like card layers out of it. It's definitely what you want to think about stamping on. So the next is kind of what people think traditionally about. It's like scrapbooking paper, and it's 12 by 12. So this is the Everyday Chick, and Stampin' Up! Calls it Designer Series paper. And I keep mine stored in 13 by 13 bags. Kathy, who is a subscriber, sent them to me, and they are fantastic. So it's normally double-sided, and a lot of companies sell this kind of 12 by 12 paper. Stampin' Up, and it's going to depend based upon the company, how thick it is. I don't normally recommend making card bases out of this kind of paper just because it's a little thin. Plus, and it's kind of, some of it can be a little busy for those kinds of things, etc. But it's absolutely gorgeous, and it works for making layers, you know, as your base layer on a card, all sorts of things. I use pattern paper a lot. You guys know that. You've seen me use it all the time. So I know a lot of people scrapbook. I'm not a scrapbooker, so I tend to lean more towards these, which are the 6x6 Designer Series paper stacks from Stampin' Up! Or 6x6 pads from other manufacturers, because the patterns are scaled down and they're meant to be more to scale on a card than, say, I don't know if there's a pattern in this one that's like huge, humongous, but there are some pattern papers where, you know, the pattern is so huge that if you put it on a card, it just wouldn't look to scale. So one thing you want to look at, and when you're looking for pattern paper, is basically, what do you like? What brands do you like? Are you someone who likes more whimsical and fun and colorful and those kind of papers? Are you one that likes more vintage and you like the distressed look, like Basic Gray or Graphic 45 or Authentique? Some of the fun and kind of whimsical one are like Echo Park or Doodlebug, or Bo Bunny sometimes has some more cute and cuddly, or Lawn Fawn. Their paper pads tend to be really cute as well. So Stampin' Up! Has just started the 6x6 this year, and I have to say that I'm ecstatic that they did. There are actually 3. This is cherry on top. It's not a cherry on top, even though I want to call it that. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is what was used in our July Jolly Mail kit. There's also Pretty Petals, which I've also shown before, but it's more of a florally pack. And then there's I want to say it's Go Wild. I can't remember what it's called, but it's animal print, and that's really fantastic. I'm not huge in animal print. It's not my favorite, but I still think it's really cute. So again, stamping on paper, you want cardstock, and you want something thick, and you want something that you can use for card bases. As far as like card decorations, card decor, I don't know how else to call it, pattern paper. So you can get 12 by 12 papers. You know, 12 by 12 are great for scrapbooking. 12 by 12 papers are also great if you like to make 3D items like boxes or bags, those kinds of things. 12 by 12 works perfect for that. If you think you're going to be strictly a card maker, I would look into getting some 6x6 paper pads. Another thing that I want to caution you on is, when you get into crafting, I think some of us have a little bit of hoarding tendencies. I know for sure I did. And I saw something, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful, I have to have it. Oh, it's beautiful, I have to have it. And then I was buying in multiples, like just crazy stuff. And before I knew it, I had like 200 pads of paper. I'm never gonna use that in my lifetime. So, you know, especially if you're working on a budget, make sure that it's something that you really, really, really love. And if it's something from Stampin' Up! And you want to see it, let me know, and I'll flip through it. I don't mind at all if I have it. And I don't buy everything in the catalog because some of the paper isn't really my style. I think it's pretty, but I always ask myself, is this something I will use? And I always go through the catalog and I go, okay, do I have any ideas how I would use that? And if I can think of 2 or 3 ideas on, oh, okay, this is how I'll use that paper, then I'll get it. If I can't, then I won't. So only buy what you love and what you think you'll use. So that's the tip for this video. So yeah, so if you have any questions, again, leave them in the comment section down below. Our next video will be about cutting and scoring, and I'm going to show you my favorite tools for that. So I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you do. Make sure you find me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.